All right, and here it is. Josue's been chomping at the bit to be able to introduce his idol. He's a bit of a fanboy, but I don't blame him. Matt is, the top leadership coach in all of Keller Williams, and we're so excited to have him today. But Josue wanted to say a few words before we turn it over to Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Al. I think it's awesome to have Matt here. Virtually, I think every team leader on the call, I think, have been coached at some point by Matt or Brian. So just for perspective, here's some of the things I've learned from Matt, and I believe today you're going to learn a lot too. I learned how to build a business plan relevant to the personal goals. I learned objection handlers. I learned leadership. I learned how to eradicate drama in my business through action. I learned how to get 10 listings in 10 weeks. I learned MOFers. I learned the 15th protocol, which is a method to go ahead and close the gap between your goals and where you are. And here's some of the books that I learned. Well, some of the books that I read, some of them while coaching with Matt. Chop Wood, Carry Water, Winning, Relentless, MREI, MREA, One Thing, Exactly What to Say, Selling in a Crisis, Courage is Calling, How the Mighty Fall, $100 million leads, $100 million offers. So this is huge. And just for perspective, Matt, I feel that if I learned all this stuff, I can only imagine what an agent could get out of it and how relevant it is to today's market. So I appreciate you being here today.
Well, thanks for the introduction, Josue. That means a lot. And it's not lost on me that I was a team leader in New Jersey. I appreciate the sarcasm and the dialogue and kind of the wit that's included. I miss it, right? Because in the Southwest, people are a lot nicer. They're a lot more patient. They're a lot slower. And I miss kind of that the edge that Al had as he went through the slides to begin this conversation. So thanks for bringing that edge back, right? I enjoy that, and I love the fact that I'm here with you guys. We're going to do a lot of really fun things today. Well, fun for me, fun for you will be interesting, right? Because it'll depend on how you define fun, but it'll be fun for me, right? And so we're going to make sure you have fun as well. The first thing I want to share with you is I'm going to challenge myself. And so I'm running the Boston Marathon on April 15th. I'm going to put this in the chat box. I'm raising a ton of money for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So the challenge to myself is, if what I do today has the possibility of making you money or generates a return on investment, I'm going to challenge you to make a donation. And if I don't, you won't donate anything. So that's what I'll know, right? If you make a donation, right, it'll be great. It'll be really helpful. I'll put it in the chat box. And if not, I'll realize that what I did today helped 0 people make any money, and it'll be great feedback for me. Just remember, that's for people with cancer. So there's also something to think about. So that being said, here's how we're going to start. Take out your phones. Take out your phones. Take out your phones. Take out your phones. Hold them up. Show me what you got them. Tell me what you got. We have a lot of good. I got, okay, I can see them. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to lead generate. Yes. We're going to lead you. Yes. Yes. Okay. We're going to do 2 minutes of lead generation to start today, because I'm not going to talk about anything I teach you without making you money first. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to type this. I'm going to put it in the chat box. I promise you. Okay. But I'm also going to say it. You're going to type this text message. Howie, I love that. Awesome for him. Congratulate. I'm glad that he survived, right? So you're going to type in the chat box, right, this text message. I'm going to put it there. You're going to send this text to 10 people in your phone. You're going to pick 10 people in your phone. You're going to send the text that I'm about to give you, okay? I'll put it in the chat box, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do it. So here's the text message you're going to send to 10 people. What are your real estate needs for 2024? What are your real estate needs for 2024? Okay, I put it in the chat box. What are your real estate needs for 2024? So you're going to text 10 people in your phone. What are your real estate needs for 2024? Now, I'm going to give you 2 minutes in a second. I shouldn't need to give you more words because we're talking to Jersey right now, mostly, right? So in Jersey, you can just send that text and everybody's cool. But if you're maybe not originally from New Jersey and you need more words, you might send a text message that sounds like, "Hey, Elizabeth, it's Matt, your local real estate agent. I was curious what your real estate needs are for 2024 and how I could help and service you. I look forward to speaking with you. Have a great day." But if you're from New Jersey, you'll just send, "What are your real estate needs for 2024? Okay, so depending on where you're from, where you grew up, it'll be a different text, right? I'm sure. But you're going to take 10 people on your phone and you're going to send that text message. You have 2 minutes. I'm going to start the clock. Start texting people. What are your real estate needs for 2024? 10 people on your phone. What are I love that Nicole, you're my favorite because I can see your hands, right? I can see Nicole sending the text, right? So to be really fair, Nicole, you're the most believable right now, right? Out of everybody, I love everybody, but Nicole, I love you the most. I can see your hands, right? She's like, I'm sending the text. What are your real estate needs? If you write the text once and copy it, you could press copy and paste 10 times and be done in about 10 seconds. What are your real estate needs for 2024? You send it to 10 people on your phone, right? You're 38 seconds in. You're sitting there going, you're going to do this for 40 minutes? No, we're going to cover all kinds of stuff in the other 40 minutes, but we got to make you money first. We got to make you money first. What are your real estate needs for 2024? So send that text. You're up to a minute. You have 1 minute left. To 10 people, if you send it to 10, you're like, I want to get crazy. Send it to 15, send it to 20, send it to your entire contact list. What are your real estate needs for 2024? That's the text you're sending to at least 10 people in your phone. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Anybody got 10 yet? You sent it to 10 people? Copy and paste it. Come on. Don't get weird about like, well, these people don't live in my market. That's okay. They could refer your market. That's okay. You could refer an agent in their market. Just send it. Just press send. Just send the text. It'll be okay. What are your real estate needs in 2024? By the way, if you're not sending this text right now, and I know how awkward it is, here's what I'd say. If we're not willing to lead generate by sending a text message to 10 people that I gave to you, that's a question to help people, we got to ask ourselves, what would I be willing to do? Right? This is about as easy as it gets to generate leads. Right? And this is going to be a big part. Like you guys put out this huge thing in there. Matt's going to help you do this. Matt's incredible. The introduction was ridiculous. I'm just a guy. Okay. But here's what I can tell you. Any success can be based on fundamental activity consistently taken. Right? So if we can't send this text message to 10 people, oh man, we got a problem. We got a problem making money if we can't do that. Simple action. Okay, so we hit it. 2 minutes. We sent it to 10 people. Yes? Okay, so this is going to be super disruptive and a lot of fun. Every response you get, I want you to put it in the chat box for the rest of the time I'm on the call. Okay, I'm going to cover all kinds of other stuff, all right? But every response that you get, I want you to put in the chat box. If somebody, I know you're in New Jersey, so somebody might text you, who is this? I hate you, unsubscribe. Put it in the chat box. If you get that, put it in the chat box, right? We want to see that. If somebody texts you, right, now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get people say like, thank you for asking, or how did you know? Or let's talk more about it. Or can I ask you some other questions? So all the positive stuff, I want you to put in the chat box too. Make sense? So if you get anything negative, you can put it in there, right? But I want you to put all the positive stuff in there too. Sound good? Okay, great. Now that we've made you some money, we can teach you some stuff because I have a rule of thumb. If I don't make you money, I don't teach you anything. So now that we've made you some money, let's teach you some stuff. Thank you, Marianne. Excellent.
Jump in for one thing. One, if everybody could put the cameras on, and two, I'm getting a bunch of funny agents sending that text to me. I'll let you know about my real estate needs later, but it doesn't count as one of your 10. I'm just letting you know.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Al, right? Yeah, that's okay. Well, I'm glad that you asked. If Al's on your phone, you asked Al, good. I mean, I'll actually make a counterpoint. You did send it to 10 people, which is great, right? So Al's telling you, right, publicly, hey, send it to other people. He doesn't have any needs right now, right? That's all, right? So all good. Keep sending it. Keep doing that. Now let's teach you some stuff. Oh, somebody said they want investment properties. Somebody said, I don't know what you mean. Oh, here we go. They're starting to come in. Isn't it funny how lead generation works? I just send texts. I get responses. Wait till we set an appointment based on this because it's going to happen. Wait till one of you sets an appointment based on 10 text messages, right? Here we go. All right. We got other work that we're going to do. So get out a piece of paper. This is, like I said, I'm going to have fun, right? I'm going to have fun. This is going to be like 12 coaching calls really fast in one call, right? So you're going to do a lot of work. I'm going to have fun. Get out a piece of paper and write down, I want more 2-family properties in Ridgewood. Don't write that down, but that's good, right? Write down your income goal. Write down your income goal for this year. Hope that should be an easy one for you to know. This is how much money do I want to make, right? How much money do I want to make? Okay, great. Now take that number. Ooh, good question, Cheryl. Net or gross? Gross, thank you. Gross, okay? Divide that number by 12. Divide that number to write down your income goal, divide it by 12. Okay, that's how much money that you want to make every month. Now, it's February 16th, which means that unless you have a cash deal that goes under contract, like before we get off this call, you know how much money you made in January, and you know how much you made and are going to make in February. So I want you to write down The total amount of money that you made in January, the total amount of money that you're going to make in February. Yeah. Do you have it? Did you get it? What'd you make in January? What are you going to make in February? So you started with your income goal. You divided it by 12. You wrote down, what did I make in January? What did I make in February? You got it so far? Now what we're going to look at is the gap between what did I actually earn and what did I say I wanted to earn based on my income goal. So what's the gap? What did I actually earn versus what I said I wanted to earn based on my income goal? Holly, how are you doing? Because you look like you're like locked in. Are you doing this? Right? Okay, you're doing them. Okay, I got it. Good. I was saying that because you look like you're locked in, not because I was calling you out. You look like you're locked in, right? So, all right, so you got your income goal, you divided by 12, you came up with what you needed to earn every month. You wrote down, this is what I actually earned in January. This is what I actually earned in February. And then you identified what's the gap between what I actually earned and what I said I wanted to earn. Do you guys have that so far? Okay. Has anybody earned more than what you said you wanted to earn in the first 2 months of the year? Okay, that's nobody. Okay, got it. Anybody on target, meaning you have earned what you said you wanted to earn exactly first 2 months of the year. Okay, so what we've got is the vast majority, if not everyone, has underperformed in January and February than what our income goal is. Is that correct? Okay. Well, then good. Then the rest of the content I prepared for the call is here to help you, right? So we're not on pace for our goal, okay? So here's the next step. The first step we want to do when we evaluate where we are is, what did I say I wanted to make and what have I made, right? Where am I at? So that's what you just did. Here's the second step. You have a business plan called a GPS. You have a business plan called a GPS. Raise your hand if you have a GPS. You have a business plan, GPS. Okay, a lot of people have it, right? Leaders in this organization, right? Look at the screen of people without their hands up. Okay, raise your hand if you have a GPS, right? Who has a GPS? One more time, cool. Okay, lots of people. Okay, that means that everybody else doesn't have a business plan, right? You don't have a one-page business plan. If you don't have a one-page business plan, just raise your hand. It's okay, not in judgment. It's okay. Don't have a one-page business plan. Okay, some people don't have a business plan. Okay, got it. So the next step is you need a business. If you don't have a business plan, you need to schedule an appointment with your team leader or your productivity coach or your OP or a member of your team to get that taken care of today. That's your step. Okay. For all of you with a business plan, take it out. Take out your business plan. I told you it'd be fun for me and a lot of work for you. Welcome to coaching. Take out your business plan. Take out your business plan. I'll give you 10 seconds, 30 seconds to grab it. Grab your business plan. We're going to get to activity here in a second and what we need to do, but we need to evaluate where we are before we do that. Okay. So now that you've got your business plan in front of you, you're going to do 2 actions. The first thing I want you to do is go through your business plan, all the strategies. If you have a GPS, you should have 15 strategies in your business plan, right? 1 goal, 3 priorities, 15 strategies, right? I want you to go through all your strategies, all the things you said you were going to do. And I want you to give yourself a pat on the back or a high five, right? Or a thumbs up, right? For all the things you did that you said you were going to do. So the first thing I want you to start is go through your business plan and identify all the things you said you were going to do this year that you've done this year. For those of you that don't have your business plan in front of you, you couldn't find it, what you're going to write down is go back to my business plan and look at what I said I was going to do and identify what I've actually done. Step 1. The second thing I want you to do is you wrote a business plan. What were all the things you said you were going to do and you haven't done yet? Does this make sense? Nothing's really hard so far, right? We're going to do some math in a minute and it's going to get weird, right? If you're one of those people that says, I'm not a math person, it's going to get weird, right? But none of you are those people, so it'll be fine. So for those of you that say like, hey, I've got a business plan, great. You take it out, you review it. What did you say you were going to do that you've actually done? What did you say you're going to do that you haven't done? What do you think the next step is? If there's things that you wrote on your business plan that in the first 2 months of the year, you haven't taken any action on, what's the next thing I'm going to tell you to do? Interesting, Phyllis. That's interesting. No, I'm not saying it's the wrong answer. That's an interesting answer. It could be an option, right? Marianne, that's what I was thinking. But now that, isn't it funny when you ask a question and you have an answer in your head and then somebody gives you another right answer and you're like, you know what, that's also, Phyllis is also correct, right? So Phyllis, we could revise or adjust our plan to be able to update it for the things that we're willing to do or committed to do. That's one thing we could do. That's what you were saying. What everybody else is saying is identify the things that we haven't done yet and start doing it. Make sense? So far, highly technical call. I said, text 10 people, what are your real estate needs? Review your income goal and review your plan. How are we doing? Super technical, right? It's going to get more technical here. I'm going to give you some math that maybe you've never seen before in a second. But where we have to start by evaluating where are we. So you know your income goal, you know what you've earned, what's the gap? You have a business plan. You're identifying what did I do well? What did I say I was going to do that I haven't done? And I need to start taking action. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a math equation to operate your business that 1 is going to piss some of you off, 2 is going to offend some of you, and 3 is going to work for everybody. You ready? Isn't that exciting? Did I at least get your attention that some of you are going to be pissed off and some of you are going to be offended? Or you at least have your, it's New Jersey, right? If you're not pissed off and offended, did you wake up? Right? Come on. Okay. So I'm going to give you, I was a team leader in Southern New Jersey. You're not going to trick me here, Jersey. I know all your games. Okay. I got you. Right. I know everything that you do. Right. And I love it. So, by the way, I love all the text message replies that we're getting in the chat bar because we're starting to get very positive replies. Buy a second home this year. Oh, set an appointment, Nicole. Dawn, I saw yours. Set an appointment, right? Like, okay, that's good. So I need you to do some math. Somebody needs to come off mute and do some math with me that knows your numbers. You'll be safe. Somebody needs to come off mute and do your math with me that knows your numbers. I need a volunteer. You sell real estate and you know your numbers. Who's doing it?
I see Susan By's raising her hand, I think.
Okay, Susan?
I think Lori Jordan and Tara Rufanis also raised their hand, I see. Susan?
Yep. Hello.
All right, Susan. Susan, you and I have had this conversation before. This is going to be great. I know you, Susan. Okay, so Susan,
Yes.
how many closed units do you need to close every month to hit your goals?
How many? 4.
Closed units. Okay, 4. Thank you so much. Susan, on average, when you take a buyer and put them under buyer agency agreement, or you take a buyer and you put them under a listing agreement, on average, from the day you put them under that agreement to closing, what is that average timeline?
4 months.
Thank you so much for knowing that. Great job, Susan. I love that. Okay, so 4 months. So here's the first math I want you to do. Everybody else, we're going to follow along with Susan, and we're going to do pipeline math right now. We're determining how many people we need on our active pipeline at all times to achieve our closed unit goal each month. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to determine how many people we need in our active pipeline to achieve our closed unit goal each month. Okay, so here's what we got. Susan needs to close 4 transactions every month, and we're going to multiply that by the time it takes to go from active agreement to closing, right? The amount of months. So 4 transactions a month times 4 months, Susan's is what number?
16.
Thank you, 16. All right, and I wish we could have 16 people in your pipeline and always close 4 transactions, but it doesn't work that way because not 100% of your clients close. So Susan, what is your conversion rate, right, of your clients that are under a buyer agency agreement and listing agreement that actually close?
80%.
What would you say that is? 80. Susan, I will tolerate that answer, 80%. The reason why I said I'll tolerate that answer is if this is with respect. If you gave me a number below that, right, I would have said okay. But if you would have said I converted 95% or 90%, I would have said it's too high of a number for me to trust in conversion rate long term. So 80% would be the maximum conversion rate I would ever use for that math. So okay. Well, Susan, you're starting to be my favorite here, and I'm going to tell you, I really liked Holly earlier, but Susan, you're pushing for it. Okay, so 4 transaction close a month. It takes 4 months for you to be able, right, to close that transaction. That's 4 times 4, 16. Divided by 70% conversion rate, divided by 0.7, You need 23 people, active buyers and active sellers at all time in your pipeline to close 4 transactions a month. Does that make sense, Susan?
Yes.
Right? It was the number of transactions times the amount of time divided by the conversion rate. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
4 times 4 months divided by 80% equals 23. So Susan, how many active buyers under agreement and how many active listings do you have right now?
None. Well, two coming, but not
Okay.
on the MLS.
Okay, what did you just learn?
I'm behind.
Okay, okay, I can tolerate that. But what you just learned is you got clarity on I need 23 active buyers and sellers at all times. I have 2 coming. My gap is 21. The question becomes, what is my lead generation going to be to close the gap? Is that correct? Okay, did everybody else follow along with your version of math that Susan did? Did you write down your closings? Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I thought it was 16 divided by 80% or multiplied by 80%.
It's divided by 70% because you said you would do
70%.
70,
Right.
Which I appreciate even more because better, more conservative conversion rate, so we know we can hit it, right? It's divided by
Okay, got it.
0.7,
Right,
divided by
that's what-
0.7, right?
Okay, got it.
So
Mhm.
the number of closings times the amount of time divided by the conversion rate.
Right.
Susan, the way you'll never forget this is do the math in reverse. If you had 23 clients that converted at 70% and it took 4 months for each one of them to close, you'd be back at 0.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So does this make sense?
Yes. So today I need 23 in the pipeline that are going to sign.
Susan, you should run the call. You
No,
run the rest of the
I'm
call. You got it.
clarifying.
No, I'm telling
No.
you, you got it. You got it.
So
That's
I
it.
always have to have 23 ready and 4 closing every month. Got it.
Susan, you run the rest of the call. You got it. You got it. Okay, does everybody have it as clear as Susan does? We got more math to do, but we're all building this up, right? We're all building this up together. You got paper out, you got a calculator out, right? I told you you're going to work today. I mean, this is what I do all day long. I have 60 of these calls a week, but you're going to do it on this call, right? We're going to do it together on this call. Okay. So Susan, you got that, right?
Mhm.
By the way, real quick, check in the chat. Somebody wants to invest in a property. Somebody else wants to buy multifamily. Wow. 10 text messages. Wow. These 10 text messages are working. Okay, great question, Victoria. I'm new. I don't have conversion rates. What should I do? Use 50%. Use 50%, Victoria. Use 50%. Make your conversion rate 50%. If you don't know it, use 50%. If you're new, use 50%. Got it? Okay. If you know it, use what you know. If you don't use it, use 50%. So Susan, what we've now figured out is, Susan, in your notes, you have your income goal. You're going to review your GPS. What did you do? What have you not done? Right? You now know the number of people needed in your active pipeline at all times to achieve your goals. Yes?
Yes.
All right. You know what we're going to do next?
Susan,
you're gonna keep doing this with me because you're my favorite now. All right, so here's what we're gonna do next season. This is now your coaching call that everybody else is gonna learn from. Next, what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna share my screen and show you, is we're gonna determine how much a dial is worth. How much money you make for every dial that you make. How's that sound? Would you like to know how much that's worth?
Mm-hmm.
Right. By the way, Nicole set an appointment based on the text messages. Bryce, Bryce, that response crazy. Right? Bryce, I don't know you, but that response is crazy. Right? If you're following the chat box. Okay, Susan, back to work.
Yep.
Where I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to draw this. Can I do this? Yeah, I can. Okay. I'm going to draw this. Okay. So here's lots of people are going to be on here, right? But I'm going to do my best to draw this. Let's see if I can actually do this, right? I need to be able to draw. I might not be able to do this on here. Okay. I might have to have you do it. I can't do it. Okay, sorry. So here's what we're going to do, right? You're going to draw it in your notes, okay? I can't draw it on that shared screen for some reason. I apologize, right? It'd be easier if I could draw it there, but I can't. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw 4 columns. Draw 3 vertical lines, okay? You're going to get 4 columns. It's going to look like that, okay? 3 vertical lines with 4 columns, okay? In the far right column, you're going to put GCI. In the column before that, you're going to put closings. In the column before that, you're going to put agreements. And the column before that, you're going to put appointments. It's going to look like that. Appointments, agreements, closings, GCI. Appointments, agreements, closings, GCI. Everybody got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Appointments, agreements, closings, GCI. Okay. Susan, you following along?
Yep.
All right. Your closings are 4. We know that. Susan, what is your average GCI per unit? Your average GCI per closing? Your
GCI,
income
not the sales price.
No, GCI.
Right?
How much is your income per
Yeah.
closing? How much, right? What's your check?
15,000. 15,000.
Okay, got it. So 4 times 15,000, right, is what?
60.
You're doing great. And you're doing it on perfect time. And everybody's following you. Susan, you're my favorite. So I got 60,000 in GCI, 4 closing at $15,000 each. I could put it on the whiteboard, it'd be easier to read, but I'm from New Jersey and they taught me in school in that area how to write. So blame them. Okay. The next thing that we're going to look at, okay, is we're going to look at your conversion rate from agreements to closings. You told me that was 80%. Sorry, 70%.
70.
Oh, geez, Susan, I better get that right. Okay, 70%. If not, you'll yell at me about it. Okay, so if I take 4 closings and I divide that by 70%, I need 6 agreements.
Correct.
I need 6 agreements, okay? Okay, got it. So now, Susan, we need to determine what's your conversion rate from appointment to signed agreement? From appointment to signed buyer agency agreement to signed listing agreement?
Lately, not good. 50%.
50%. I'll use that. Thank you so much. I appreciate your honesty. So now you need 12 appointments. So your numbers, Susan, are 12 appointments for 6 agreements for 4 closings for $60,000 in GCI. You got that? Okay, 12, 6, 4, 60,000. Let me stop for a second. How's everybody else doing on your math? Cheryl's like, I'm great at math, Matt. I got it. Cheryl, that's good. Everybody, how's everybody else doing at math? We're looking at appointments, agreements, closings, and income. How are we doing? Other people have it or don't have it? You have it or don't have it? It's one or the other. Come on, Jersey. We do or we don't. Because the next thing's going to be more technical. So you got to have it. You got to know your GCI, by the way. That's the big number. Don't have it. Okay. Michelle, the number of closings you need per month times your average commission per unit is your GCI. Okay. That's going to give you your GCI. Your conversion rate for buyer agency agreement and listing agreement to closing is going to be your conversion rate from agreement to closing. Your conversion rate from appointment to agreement is going to be your conversion rate from appointment to agreement. Okay. For Susan, that's 12, 6, 4, 60,000. How we doing? Good?
I have
Better?
a question though.
Ask.
Okay, so if it's 12 appointments, let's say it's 3 a week, but then if you're showing the same, let's say you got a new buyer that's an appointment week 1, but then you're working with that buyer like weekly, let's say, that doesn't count as the 3 appointments for the next week, correct?
Yeah. These are appointments per month. These are appointments per month that you need to sign this many agreements per month. Yes, Susan, they're new appointments. They're new appointments. Yes. Susan, you're asking that thanks for volunteering yourself because you're just asking the best questions. Okay. By the way, I know people are going like, I thought this was supposed to be this fantastic call where we were going to get all this stuff and I was just going to sit here and not do anything. I know that's other people's calls. On this call, we're going to do work that actually makes us money. Okay. So I understand people are going, I'm frustrated. I have questions. The math is different. I'm doing my best to figure it out. Welcome to building your business. Welcome to building your business. This is what it feels like to be a business owner, right? We've got to work through these things and learn our numbers. Okay. You're doing great and you're doing your very best. Victoria, you don't know the numbers yet. Yes, you do. Victoria, your number of closings times the average commission per unit that you're going to sell, even if you've sold nothing, is your commission per unit. So just use the same 15,000 as an example for Susan until you have your exact number, right? Let's say you wanted to close 5 a month at 15,000, that's 75,000 in GCI. For you, Victoria, use 50% conversion from agreement to closing and 50% conversion from appointment to agreement. Got it? Got it? Okay. So, Susan, divide your GCI by the number of your appointments. Divide 60,000 by 12. Tell me what you get. 5,000, right?
Closings. Five,
No, 5,000.
yeah, 5,000.
$60,000 in income divided by 12 appointments is what?
5,000.
Which is 5,000 per appointment. So what did you just learn, Susan?
No matter whatever phone call I make, if I get an appointment, it's worth 5,000. Or how many phone calls do I have to make the first 5,000?
Susan, every appointment you hold is worth $5,000. That's what you just learned.
Right.
Every appointment you hold is worth $5,000. Now, Susan, how many contacts do you need to make to set an appointment? People that you talk to set an appointment. Do you know that number?
No, because it depends on cold or Mets or pass.
Well, that's okay. Let's use an average of that. And let's just say it's 50 to 1. For every 50 contacts, you set an appointment. That's a very low conversion rate. If you take $5,000 and divide it by 50, that means for every contact you make, Susan, at 50 to 1,
it's
every
$100.
contact is worth $100. Susan, how many dials does it take to somebody answer the phone? You think it's about 5 to 1?
No, 10 to 1.
10 to 1. Okay, got it. 10 to 1. So every dial is worth what?
$10.
So Susan, what did you just learn?
Every dial is worth $10.
So what should you do?
Whether I get it or not.
So what should you do?
Dial.
How many people?
50.
Well, why would you stop there?
A day? A day. That's a lot though. I've tried.
But Susan, Susan, every time some of you reacted there, like you're not from New Jersey and people don't raise their voice. Breathe. It's okay, right? You'll be all right. Susan, I had to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Every time you dial your phone, I give you $10 bill. You're gonna stop at 50. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's different then.
Okay.
Okay. How's everybody else doing? If your conversion rates are better than Susan's, you realize you make more money every time you dial than Susan does, right? And as Susan makes more calls and makes more dials, you realize her conversion rates will get better and she'll make more money every time she makes a dial. You get that, right? You get that, right, Susan?
Mm-hmm.
As your skills improve, you'll make more money every time you dial the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie, I love what you said. Joseph, I love what you said. David, I love what you said. Ella, I love what you said in the chat box. Natalie, you're my favorite there. I would dial all day. Okay, Natalie, are you dialing all day? Are you doing that now? Because your numbers are the same as Susan's or close. Change the way you look at things. The things you look at change, agents.
Mm.
Right? Before you got on this phone call, you're sitting there going, "Oh, lead generation. Ugh, disgusting. I don't want to do that. I'll do anything else." I just told you every time you press dial on the phone, Susan, it's like me handing you a $10 bill. Every time. And here's what's really silly, agents. You proved it to yourself. Look in the chat box. You sent 10 text messages with a question I gave you, and multiple of you have set appointments with 10 text messages. Right? Like, you can really do this, and it's worth a lot of money. Every action you take is worth $10. Every action you take is worth $20. For some of you, it's worth more than that. And you're letting other things get in the way, and you're not consistently lead generating. You should be doing everything in your power to get everything else out of the way to lead generate because of how much money it's worth to you. But because you've never defined that, right? Or maybe you're one of the people that says, I don't know my numbers, or I'm not a numbers person. Stop saying that. You are learning numbers. You are learning business. You are getting better at being a numbers person. That's what you're going to say from now on. Alex, what are your real estate needs for 2024? Okay. Should we cover a different conversation? Can we switch gears? Can we cover one more thing? Is that okay? Was any of this valuable so far today before we switch gears?
Yes.
Right?
Very.
Okay. Okay, got it. So let's switch gears, right? I want to talk about the great wealth transfer. The great wealth transfer. Anybody know what that is about?
The baby boomer generation to the next generation.
Geez, Susan, I don't know why I'm here. You just do it. Nailed it. You nailed it. Excellent. Excellent, Susan. Okay. It's the baby boomer generation, right? Like, well, Susan, let's just read an article about it, right? How about that? Let's look at an article. Okay. Here's the paragraph that everybody should read so you know what it is from now on. Go ahead and read that paragraph. I'll read. Okay, fine. I'll read it. It's been called the greatest wealth transfer in history. $84 trillion in assets is set to change hands over the next 20 years, according to estimates by the consulting firm Cerulli Associates. The recipients, primarily members of Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z, are expected to inherit $72 trillion of that amount, mainly from baby boomers, with the rest going to charity. So in the next 20 years in the United States, $72 trillion is going to change hands in our country. I'll put that a different way. $72,000 billion is going to change hands in our country. I'll put that a different way. $7.2 million is going to change hands in our country. I'll put that a different way. If the $1 billion, 72,000 billion, were distributed evenly, $1 billion per person, it won't be, but if it were distributed evenly, the number of billionaires on Earth would increase by 16 times. I'll put it a different way. It's a boatload of money. So here's why I'm bringing it to your attention. I want to show you something that's really interesting that some of you may have seen. Anybody know who Sam Altman is? Sam Altman? Who is Sam Altman?
Chat GPT guy.
Yeah, the Chat GPT guy. What happened with Sam Altman the other day? He was all over the internet. People were calling him crazy. There were memes about him. What did he do?
Got fired.
Yeah, he did. But here's the other thing he did. Anybody see this? He asked for $7 trillion. $7 trillion. But by the way, isn't that an attractive picture? That's the one I want them to use. Anyway, back to work. So $7 trillion, right? And people went, what in the world? This guy's insane. I can't believe he would ever ask for that money. Where would it ever come from? I don't know. How about $72 trillion? Maybe the 7 trillion would come from 72 trillion. Here's the point I'm making to you. Sam Altman knows that $72 trillion is going to change hands in the next 20 years. So he's asking for 7 trillion because what he's saying is the money should go to me and it should go to my industry and it should go to the people that I control because I should have the money because I should be the decision maker. And the only difference between Sam Altman and you is you aren't telling people that the money should be invested with you and you should know how to do it and you should be the one that's in control of it and you will help the people to be able to make the decisions and you should be the decision maker. That's the difference. Some of you are going like, this isn't real. Oh, yeah? We have a MAPS coach that one of his clients inherited $300 million 2 weeks ago. That client called the coach and said, there's 4 people in the world I trust to help me invest this money. You're one of them. What should I do? I've had 9 clients have multiple $1 million inheritances over the last 2 years and call me with similar things. Where should I invest the money? Here's what I'm telling you. Because of how much money is changing your hands, either you or someone in your family or someone in your database will have a disproportionate financial event in the next 2 decades. And the larger your business is, the more of those events that will occur to you or your family or your database. It's not if, that money's going to change hands. It's going to happen. And it's going to happen to people in your database. It's just going to be whether or not you have a plan for people to invest in real estate by using you. So here's what I challenge you to do. Write a plan for someone to invest $1 million in real estate right now with you. If that's too low for your market, write a plan for 10 million. If that's too low for your market, write a plan for someone to invest 100 million. If that's too low, write a plan for somebody to invest $1 billion. And for some of you going like, these numbers are huge. Sam Altman asked for 7 trillion. Just to put that in perspective, a trillion is 1,000 times a billion, and I stopped at $1 billion. Those of you that don't have plans for people to invest these large inheritances with you, those of you that cannot direct where that's going to go will never be the person that's a steward for the money. And the people that do will be the selected stewards of the money. Now, if I was going to lead generate for it, I would be lead generating to certified financial planners, to estate attorneys, to trust attorneys. I'd be lead generating to real estate attorneys. I'd be building those relationships right now and saying, if you have a client that's looking to invest a large sum of money into residential or commercial real estate, please contact me so I can create a customized plan for that client and to generate a return for them. And then I would go back home and work like hell to write out a plan to make sure I could do it when I get that phone call, because the call is coming. All right, I got 5 minutes for questions.
I have a quick question, Matt. Are you still coaching? Do you coach agents any longer, or is it only KW leadership?
I coach some agents. The agents that I coach all do several hundred units a year. Some agents, but agents that are doing a couple hundred units a year.
So if there are agents on this call and they're not at the several hundred unit, but they love what they heard and they want to learn more for you, are there any other places where they can go to find you? Or are you doing any group coaching or classes?
Yeah. I appreciate that. One thing is, obviously, if you're Market Center registered for 30, 60, 90, you get a weekly call with Brian Martin and myself for free. The next registration for that is in April, the first week in April. So you can push your Market Center leadership to be able to make that registration. You'll get that. At Family Reunion, we have a breakout session from 12 to 1:30 on Monday. And that is I just got the room today. Hold on. That is in Islander Ballroom H. We haven't put that announcement out yet because I got it an hour ago. It's in Islander Ballroom H from 12 to 1:30 on Monday. That's just before Tony Robbins. Don't worry, we'll be on time, so you'll be on time. We'll make it there too to Tony Robbins. Brian keeps telling people we're opening for Tony Robbins just in a different room down the hall. And so that's when we'll be doing that. We are working on something else we can't announce yet, but we'll be able to announce very soon. And if we can get that through, there will be an agent program. Stay tuned for that Brian and I will have.
Once a month call that you mentioned, is that for leadership or for agents?
That's for agents. That's leaders are registered for 30, 60, 90, right? If
you're not registered, everybody in that. So for leaders that are on here in 30, 60, 90, let's get the agents on these calls.
Yeah, every week. And the way we start that call out is we say, take out your phone and send these 10 text messages. By the way, we give you a different text every week, right? Then we give you 2 minutes to do that. Then we teach you an idea, a concept on that call to build your business, build your database, take more listings. The first quarter of this year, our focus has been 12 listings in 12 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or anything else I can help with? We did a lot of math. Ooh, we did a lot of stuff today. Other questions?
What's the name of your class at 12 o'clock? That family reunion?
That session, right, in Islander Ballroom H is going to be called Your Best Year Ever. Your Best Year Ever. So we called it Your Best Year Ever. I'm going to put one more time in the chat box. If anything was valuable today, that is the charity fundraiser I'm doing for leukemia and lymphoma to run the Boston Marathon. If this was valuable and you can make a donation, I appreciate it. If it wasn't valuable, I'll know because I won't see any donations, and then I'll get better and I'll do more homework. Any other questions? Douglas, you're my new favorite at the end. I have an appointment Tuesday at 2 p.m. from sending that text. Isn't it weird? We send this text, and at the beginning of the call, I said, you will set appointments from this by the end of the call. So Douglas, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but if I don't see a donation from you, I'm going to probably knock on your door in the future. Okay. That being said, if there's nothing else I can help you with, and Douglas, I'm totally kidding. I'm not going to knock on your door. It's okay. You don't have to do anything. Let me know if I can help you in the future. It was a pleasure being here today. I hope you took something away. If I can do it again, I will. Next week, you have John Clyde, I think that's what I heard. John was my OP. The book that John wrote, I'm actually in that book, which is super weird. So you should definitely read it because you can read a really weird story about me that's in there. But John is awesome. We learn lots of stuff. Make sure you ask him about the time that he wasn't a state trooper anymore and he chased someone down on foot in street clothes. Okay, great. I'll look forward to seeing you very soon. Make sure you ask him about that because that's something he definitely wants to talk about.
Elizabeth, let's remember to ask that. And Matt, thanks so much. This was super helpful and so interactive, and we got a ton out of it. It was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Really awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
I'm
Thank
proud of you
you.
guys for making money today. Good job, Susan. You're really my favorite, even though I said other people were. See you soon.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Bye.
Bye. If everyone else
real-
wants to stay
yeah.
on, Cheryl had an announcement that she wanted to make about another great class we have coming up.
So last Tuesday, I was supposed to have my class here in the Woodcliff Lake office, which was about using your personal experiences to grow your business and your family relationships. We've rescheduled that for Wednesday, the 21st at 10 a.m. I hope people can make it. I know you're going to get something out of this. So I'm going to share an experience with people, and I think that a lot of people will relate. I promise you, this will help your business and help your home life. Thank you.
Is that in person only or on Zoom as well?
It is an in person only.
Okay. All right. Great. Sounds
Thank
like
you.
a great class. Hopefully everyone can make it.
Thank you.
And I think that wraps it up, unless anybody else has anything they want to share before we sign off. I think this was a great class, very interactive. The fact that we generated some appointments is amazing. Maybe we should just have Matt on every week. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, everyone.